Valley of Fear and Selected Cases is a collection of short stories by Arthur Conan Doyle, which center around the infamous detective Sherlock Holmes and his right-hand man, John Watson. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was born on May 22, 1859 in Edinburgh, Scotland. Doyle graduated from Edinburgh University in 1881 with a degree in medicine in hopes of becoming a doctor. While attending the university, one of Doyle's teachers was Dr. Joseph Bell, who he saw as a master of observation, logic, deduction, and diagnosis. All of these qualities were later found in the persona of Sherlock Holmes. It is likely that the famed detective was based on Dr. Bell himself. The Valley of Fear and Selected Cases takes place in England during the late 19th century. However, Part 2 of The Valley of Fear is set in California. The characters and events of these stories very accurately portray society, transportations, and the fashions of the late 19th century. Firstly, by 1851, more than half of the British population lived in towns, making England one of the first European countries to urbanize. In the novel, Sherlock Holmes and John Watson reside in London at 221B Baker Street. This is reminiscent of the time in that many people were choosing to migrate to cities. Additionally, the extensive use of railways throughout the book is accurate to the time period. The first major railway in England opened in 1830, and from then on the railway system continued to grow and become a prominent source of transportation. The trains are used countless times in the Valley of Fear alone, like when Holmes and Watson first traveled to Burleston to investigate the Douglas murder. Lastly, the attitudes and fashions common to the late 19th century are accurately presented in the book. All of the characters, particularly Holmes, are depicted as dressing in a formal and proper way, and attitudes of propriety are regularly expressed, like when the detectives are suspicious of Mrs. Douglas and Cecil Barker's familiar relationship. A classic is defined as an author or literary work of the first rank, especially one of demonstrably enduring quality. The Valley of Fear and Selected Cases by Arthur Conan Doyle fits perfectly into this definition of a classic. First published in 1915, The Valley of Fear and Selected Cases has continued in popularity for over 100 years. This novel is so popular that several TV shows and films have been based on it and the other Sherlock Holmes novels. Perhaps one of the most popular of these programs is BBC's Sherlock, starring Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock Holmes and Martin Freeman as John Watson. The TV show Sherlock is quite accurate in its depiction of Holmes's persona as a whole. In both the book and the show, Sherlock is portrayed as incredibly intelligent and calculating. In the show, Sherlock frequently goes into what he calls his mind palace when he is trying to solve a difficult problem, and it seems that he does that in the Valley of Fear as well, when he sits in Douglas's office trying to solve his murder. Additionally, in both the book and show, Sherlock is addicted to drugs.
Did you make a list?
You put on weight. That waistcoat's clearly newer than the
Stop
jacket.
this, just stop it. Did you make a list?
Of what?
Everything, Sherlock, everything you've taken. Nobody deceives like an addict.
I'm not an addict. I'm a user. I alleviate boredom and occasionally heighten my thought process.
The TV show also does a great job of portraying John Watson and the main events that occurred in the selected cases of the Sherlock Holmes book. In both the books and the show, Watson is a smart and worrisome man, who is very helpful but much less skillful than Holmes. Additionally, in both the shows and the books, Watson has an overwhelming amount of care and even love for Holmes. As for the main event of the Sherlock Holmes books, The Reichenbach Falls, the show puts a somewhat modern twist on. In the book, Holmes and Moriarty jump off of the Reichenbach Falls waterfall for Holmes to fake his death. But in the TV show, Holmes jumps off of a tall building instead.
Goodbye, John.
No. Don't.
It's raining.